Welcome to the Society Sucks podcast.
And today we have a very special guest with us. We haven't had someone live in a while, and today we're blessed with the opportunity to be interviewing Briven Sullivan right here. So say hi, Briven.
What's up? What's up?
Yep. So first of all, let us know more about yourself. What is your MMA record right now, and how do you get into it?
Yeah, I've been training since I was 15. I picked the sport up my freshman year of high school. I have a 5-0 record in MMA, a 13-1 record in kickboxing, and a 1-0 record in boxing. And
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
take this to the top.
Hell yeah.
And how old are you now?
I turned 21 in a few days, December 4th. Yeah, dude.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
That's another blessing on top of
Yeah,
everything.
right, dude?
Man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You can legally buy alcohol now.
There you go. Heck yeah. So
Well, I would like to just mention too, I guess we came in contact with Briven once we started too, also doing jiu-jitsu, right?
Mhm.
I guess we started talking to him more, started getting to know him. I guess jiu-jitsu brought us together, right?
For
Yeah.
sure, dude. Yeah, I saw y'all posting about it. I love seeing. It's so hard to get people into this sport.
Mhm.
Like people there's such a fear to walk into a gym.
Yeah.
It's an intimidating thing to walk into a gym where everybody fights, everybody,
That's
you know.
true.
So it sucks at first, but when I see
Yeah.
people get into it, I love seeing people get better.
Yeah.
I watch every single one of y'all's clips. I always keep
Oh,
up with
yeah,
y'all's
I
channel.
appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
man.
Especially when y'all post BJJ stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always keep my eye open
Always
for stuff
on.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
100%.
Heck yeah, I appreciate that. So what do you think it is with people and like the fear? Because from what I've seen,
Yeah.
it's kind of like people have this stereotype around like a meathead, brutal mentality. You're gonna get beat up. People are gonna be mean and loud at you.
Mhm.
But what do you think it is?
Ego.
Yeah.
Everybody. No one knows how to fight until they've been in a fight. No one really knows how to fight until they've been in a cage fight.
Oh man, that's another level
That's
too.
the next level. To
It's
it.
when you're doing a street fight, anything can happen. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like especially bare knuckle. But when you're in a cage fight and you have to train 8 weeks for a guy who's also training it for 8 weeks to try to beat the crap out of you in front of your
Yeah,
friends and
that's
family.
awesome.
It's a different
It's
intensity.
different, though.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people have the confidence and the experience in knowing that, so they don't know what they're capable of. And when you go into a gym and you have the possibility of getting beat up, and honestly, when you go into the gym, especially if it's your first day, you're gonna get beat up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to accept that,
That's
especially men,
Mhm.
men.
Oh, that's true, actually. What do you think? I guess someone looking at this has no clue what we're even saying right now and wants to just, like you were saying, I think you're already kind of leading into it. What do they need to emphasize? What kind of mentality? What should they let go of when they want to try out something that's jiu-jitsu, martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
stepping into that gym? What kind of mindset do you think they should have coming in?
The ego and the ego's good for competition. If you're gonna compete, your ego needs to be there. But if you're going in there to train, you've got to level yourself, you've got to humble yourself, and you've got to understand that you're not going to be the best in the room. You're not going to smash everybody. You're going to go in there, you're going to get beat up, you're going to get taught lessons, and you got to, instead of sitting there and hating losing, like enjoy losing in the training room. But then, for all the egotistical, and all of us have an ego.
Yeah.
For
Use
sure.
that for competition. Use that for competition. In the room, humble yourself and just go in there ready to learn. Go in there ready to get better. You want to learn a new move every single day. Every single day you want to try to, if you're sparring, if you're rolling in jiu-jitsu, I try to implement a brand new move every single day.
Ooh, that's a smart little tactic.
That's a good mindset to have. Yeah, because that can hold a lot of people back, is the expectation of not wanting to lose, not wanting to let go of that, because it's like a comfort zone thing. Like no one wants to get shown that another man can beat you up. Everyone thinks that they're going to win the fight if they get into it. Like, oh, adrenaline's going to kick in, something's going to happen, I'm going to beat them up. And it's like, no, if anything, it's like the person who's always in that environment of always practicing, always hammering things down, that's ultimately going to win something.
And then again, they don't know. Like if you've been into a couple of street fights, cool, but like it's not like when our parents were kids. When our parents were kids, they were fighting all the time.
Oh,
Our parents were
sure.
little gangsters, you know what I mean? It's like nowadays we get into fights and like, dude, in high school, if you got into a fight, they were threatening to press charges. We had a few kids who legitimately had charges pressed and had to do.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's like you can't fight anymore. So no one really knows that primal, that tough
That's
aspect.
a good point, too,
People
yeah.
people want you to shell that primal aspect away, but when you go into an MMA gym, that primal aspect, that competitive aspect, everything, your fight or flight's going to get tested, and you're going to see who you truly are. And people are scared of that because people don't know what they're capable of. They don't know they don't have the experience of the situations they've been in.
So I guess when you talk to, like, I guess family members or friends, how do you go about even introducing them to the sport that's so uncommon, so primal, so like out of your comfort zone?
Especially nowadays, for sure, like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
How do you like emphasize? How do you even go by explaining that?
I don't. I let people explain it for me. Like when I go into a room, I don't see the point in. I do this because I love this, but I'm not gonna go around flaunting I'm the MMA fighter. I know how to fight. I know how to do that, because it does carry a weight with itself, and if there's no reason. I'm confident enough in myself. I know who I am. I don't need to go into a room and everybody know, hey, I'm an MMA fighter. I'm 5-0. I smash everybody.
Yeah.
So normally what happens is I go into a room and someone, if I'm with someone that I know or someone that does know, somehow they bring it up and somehow they say it. And that's all it needs. When you hear it, if you hear it from me, you're gonna not believe it. But the moment that, for example, my girlfriend's dad, if we meet a new person, he always brings it up. If you hear it come out of his mouth, hey, this kid's good. This kid really does this stuff.
That's awesome.
It makes people believe it just that.
That's
much.
true.
Sure.
Yeah, when it comes from someone else, it's definitely different than when you're, just saying it, and that's the first thing you have to mention when you walk into a room. I think it makes a difference, too.
Yeah, 100%.
I can see that. It's for sure. I feel like some people would see this and think, people that fight or do MMA have a sort of mindset of, everyone should know that I do this, because some people have like a they view fighters in a way of they probably think they're better than me because of this. They probably think they probably think you have an ego. They probably think, but in actuality, guys,
what we do to an extent. You don't carry yourself thinking you're better than everybody, but y'all even can associate with this, is like when y'all started doing jiu-jitsu, tell me your confidence didn't just...
It shoots the roof.
That's a different...
It does.
When you train, when you do something hard every single day, your anxiety goes away. And when you do something hard that's a primal thing, like jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, whatever sort of combat sport it may be, when you do a combat sport every single day, you've experienced something that people are terrified of.
That's a good point.
You do it every single day. You carry yourself with a confidence, knowing I know my capabilities. I know I can handle myself. And if you know you can handle yourself, if you know you can protect yourself in this dangerous world,
That's very true.
you walk around with just...
You got a little boost.
Yeah, dude, it's a big
That's
boost.
true.
It's a big boost. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it like that, because it's like the majority of people go their whole lives avoiding confrontation, physical, encounters with other people. And then people like us are throwing themselves at it, like irregularly all the time. And it's like, well, there's definitely some differences there, some tension there. And like you said, it does carry over back into the real world, off the mats. You do get that confidence boost. You do feel like you can handle yourself better. You feel more secure with who you are.
And you went out and y'all both went out as far as to test it in y'all's first few months of training. Like y'all did not have that much training and went up and just did a tournament and said, whatever.
Yeah.
People train. People put weeks in for tournament. They know they're having a tournament 6 weeks ahead. They put a camp into it. They really train for tournaments, right?
Sure.
Y'all went up there and you still did really good. You know what I mean? And even then, the fact that y'all could go up there and put your skills to a legit test, not someone in a training room, but against someone who's also having that adrenaline pump that you're having, who's also dealing with those nerves, who's also having all that.
That's the difference.
It's a different level. It's as close to confrontation that you're gonna get without it being on the street.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And like you also mentioned that it's something that's obviously hard. It's something that's obviously primal. It's an out of comfort zone thing. How did you get into that? Like, were you always someone that embraced, adversity and things like that? Or were you is this something that you had to develop for a few years?
Yeah, dude. Adversity's in everybody's life. Everybody always has problems they have to deal with. And no matter, you can't level it out. Everyone always has to fight adversity. But people deal with it differently. Some people face adversity and it hurts their feelings, and it puts them in a pity party, and it makes them want to sit in a room. Some people and everyone, that's a phase of it. Like when you fall into a spell of depression, you're always going to have that part where you feel bad about yourself. But you've got to you can sit in that part and you can just let it all overtake you, or you can decide to do something with it. And yeah,
That's true.
as far as the fighting, I feel like I mean, I've been fighting since I was a kid. I was raised with 2 other brothers, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Me and my oldest brother fought all the time growing up, and my dad is a little tough guy too. So yeah, fighting was just it came natural. I loved it. I loved the I was always an adrenaline junkie. My parents always saw me as the kid who just just went and did crazy things just cause you know what I mean? Like, you just don't think, you just do. And I just always craved that adrenaline pump. And then freshman year, my mom came, she tried a Muay Thai class, and she came home and she said, I think you really like it. Do you want to try it? Took me to the class, and it just became an instant when you talk about like an instant obsession. Like, I went in there and I got my butt whooped, but something felt good about pouring all that anger out. Something felt good about letting everything go. You know what I mean? And when you get to do it on a day-to-day basis, you know what I mean, it just there's nothing like it.
That's true. There's something about having like a healthy outlet to release, anger or emotions into something like that. That's why it's so important. I feel like for anyone who has like, issues with anger or, just emotional control, it's like you don't have to suppress this. There's just healthy outlets for it, and you can pour everything out into it. Did you feel like this is like not only like a physical outlet for you, but a mental outlet for you?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. The mental aspect is the biggest part of the game. I think it's important, like you said, everybody needs a healthy way of letting all of their emotions out. There's a reason why exercise is such an important factor in everybody's life. If there's one person that you look up to, that you're inspired to, that you follow on social media, or you like their movies or whatever it may be, I guarantee they have exercise in their routine. And there's a reason. It's because it helps your mental state. You got to take care of your mental state. And yeah, dude, there's no better way to take care of your mental state than, like we were saying, like primal combat, like going against another human being in an intense form. There's no better way to release your emotions. It's hard to be mad when you're doing BJJ, when you're doing this. It's hard to be mad. I love life. I love it. I love confrontation. That's the MMA fighter in me. But I hate fighting. I don't want to fight. I don't want to street fight. I don't want to. I do it all the time. Why would I want to do it when I'm not getting paid? When I'm not making fans, or I'm not doing it for a better cause. When you're doing it for just
to cause pain.
Yeah, just your ego and stuff. It's like, I don't want to.
See, and I think that's where it starts to stray away the differences versus someone that just looking for a fight in the street versus someone that does it professionally, right? So we're here to distinguish that, and I'm here to say that too. We're sitting next to Briven. We've known Briven. Briven's a nice guy.
That's true.
He's a nice guy. You can talk to him. You don't even understand that he's that, right? Until he starts to tell you, or you start to hear about it.
And
exactly.
watch the videos too.
Don't get it messed up. It's like I said, I don't want to, but by all means I will.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
By all means, if you want to trigger that part of me, and it's a trigger, it's a mode. There's 2 different human beings. When I'm me on my day-to-day basis talking to y'all, just like y'all are my boys, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the egotistical crazy madman, you know what I mean, who punches people for a living. But when you're prepping for that fight, like when I start walking out to that cage, when I'm leading up weeks to it, I am that guy. It's a different mode that flips. It's something different that just comes out of you.
And I think it's because you have to be too, because it's like that's the discipline aspect of it, that's you versus the kind of people out there who just in a low vibrational state, low mood, want to take out their anger on someone. That's, I think, the essential thing that they lack is a discipline and where to put that, rather than on innocent people in your everyday life. Maybe you get home, treat your family bad, treat your friends bad.
That cause that.
Triggers them, and they get angry, and like other people are their outlet. Everyday people are their outlet. You know, bad customer service, mean to the cashier, mean to the waitress, things like that.
But I have outlets like Trevor Peak and Torres Finney who are legitimate super athletes who, when your outlets are a toxic, when you're taking your emotions out and stuff in a toxic environment, like especially if you're coming home to a toxic family or an environment that you don't want to be around, you've got to take it in your own hands to better yourself. You got to take it in your own hands to do what's needed to be done for you, right? It's like you can't sit there and soak in that toxic environment. Go and do something that's better for you. And now, instead of, I've got my outlets as professional fighters who, if I want to go out there and I'm having a bad freaking day, I know, those dudes beating you up, you know what I mean? Those dudes put it on you, and those dudes as partners, and you see the stuff they're doing every single day.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just...
So, it actually leads me to a question to ask. What do you think that your gym environment, everything that, you're surrounded around, like you say, you're surrounded by pro fighters, you have your own gym that you go to. What do you think that culture there, your environment there has helped breed inside of you to the person, the fighter that you're becoming?
Oh, dude, this has changed. It's changed everything. It's like I was almost kind of like a nomad in the MMA world. When I started with John in Chatsworth, right? So I started right down the road. Y'all know where Taco Roble is? And stuff. Right behind there, that big old blue building that used to be a softball building.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That was my first gym, and then we moved into that little outlet with Taco Roble. I started there. Then I went to AKB. I've trained at 6 or 7 different gyms in my 5 years, long term, and that's not even just the ones I visited. And they've all been pretty bad environments, pretty toxic environments. There's always, you're not in there to almost help each other. You're in there to hurt each other, and you're in there to go in there and fight. Dude, when I came to Agoge, it was different. It's like everybody, we're all. It doesn't stem from insecurity. It stems from confidence. When you go into you can go into toxic gyms. By all means, you can want to go to an MMA gym, walk in, and your instructor just be an absolute douchebag. 100%. Your instructor be a piece of crap, right? You could do that. That's a possibility. But when you walk into something like Agoge, it's just a family environment. Everybody wants to go in there. Everybody wants to get better. Everybody wants to do better for themselves.
Yeah. And you believe that the difference in the type of instructors, one stems from insecurity, is where you get people trying to show out, people trying to hurt you, people trying to prove that they're better than you, and one stems from confidence, where I could if I want to, but this is more of a family environment.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got a business to run. You know what I mean? I've had instructors that that are just insecure and would beat the crap out of new people. I've watched my instructors, the guys that I've looked up to, walk in and put it on a new guy and beat the crap out of him. You know what I mean? And it's you walk into Agoge, they're tough. I'll tell you what, they'll put you through the ringer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
They're not gonna come in there and break your bones or nothing of that matter. They're gonna take care of you, because at the end of the day, it's a family environment. No one wants to hurt each other.
So take us through the journey of MMA and how you adopted each art, because you said, which kind of blew my mind, is your mom introduced you to Muay Thai.
That's mind blowing.
I did not know that. At what age was that?
15.
15. Okay, then what came next after that?
All right. So in terms of MMA, like I said, I've always grown up fighting. My dad's Irish. I feel like it's just in our blood to fight. I've come from Irish heritage, and also on my dad's side, Viking heritage. And I just think all that comes from just. Your genetics. Your genetics carry a lot of things in you, and your DNA, and the way your brain works, and everything. I think fighting's just in my blood. I watched UFC growing up with my dad. I always played the UFC games, and then of course I'm 15, and my mom introduced me to Muay Thai, took me into the class, and it was just, like I said, it was just an instant passion. I trained with my schedule was, I would get off of school at 3, I'd be in the gym at 3:30. I wouldn't leave and go home till 8:39.
Wow.
It was just, and
That's
it's
insane.
not. I would get there. I'm running 2 miles. I go into the class doesn't even start till 5 or 6. Right?
Wow.
I got there early and got in my extra work because that's just all I wanted to do. It's just all I wanted to do. When you grow up insecure and you grow up in just you want to when you find something that helps you become a better person and you develop a genuine passion for it, it's just like, I think everybody needs to find their passion in life. Everybody needs to find their passion in life. Anyways, I'm training 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day for the first 2 years with John, and I picked up my first fight 2 months in, 3 months training, and it's on YouTube. And
really?
I beat the crap out of the kid and busted his nose. He had his blood just everywhere. I have the hand wrap still, and there's like blood on the hand wraps and stuff. Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Still 15 at this point, or
Still 15, dude.
Wow.
And my mom was anxious. My mom was anxious as hell, dude. She was like, she introduced me to it, and when I first started, she would always watch me like train. And then, of course, when you get older, they don't. I can drive now, you know what I mean?
That's true.
But she would watch me train, and she'd always be there supporting me, always there, even for my fights and stuff. And then when I took the first fight, she was anxious and scared and nervous, and hell, I was too, you know what I mean? But after I beat a tar for 3 rounds, I beat. It wasn't even that I was like incredibly good. Like, you can watch the fight. I just had a hard left hand, and I hit him in the face multiple times, and then he gassed, and I just kept beating the crap out of him. And at the 3rd round, dude, I hit him. There's like 10-15 seconds left in the fight, and it's the 3rd round, and I've just been beating this kid's face. And I hit him with a left hand, and he falls backwards against the cage, and I run up and I try combo, and he grabs me, and at the end I start combo, and I hit him with like 3 or 4 punches, and then the bell rings, and after the bell rings, I'm in the mode and just accidentally hit him with a slap left hook, right hook, beat the tar out of him. My mom walks up to me after, and she goes, "Okay, maybe you are meant for this. Maybe this is your sport."
Wow,
you know what I mean?
really?
Just like that.
And
Wow.
and
Look at that.
yeah, dude, it was like it instantly changed, and then from then on, I just started fighting often. John was everything to me. John was my best friend. I'm sure y'all understand when you make a connection with your instructor, it's like it's different. It becomes like a role model. They become like a role model to
Definitely.
you. Yeah, dude, it's a teacher, a role model. You need a good one, of course, a good role model, and you got to know if like by no means was John necessarily a role model to me. I don't want to, because his actions weren't always the greatest, but that dude shaped my mindset. That dude made me confident. That dude made me add my flavor. He always had me. He knew how to click me into my mode. He knew how to make me want to fight. He knew how to make me fight my best. Every single fight, he wanted it to be a performance. He wanted me to go out there and swag on the guy and stun on the guy. He just he shaped this thing in me that made me. He also wasn't all about the form, the straight technique. Like, if I'm a big movement guy. I like to throw my stuff from different angles. He was all about that. He was like, the way he shaped my striking style, he allowed me to develop a striking style how I want to. Add everything with my own flavor, right? And he taught me how to do that, and I still carry it with to this day. Like, he really is the reason for my skills. And I fought multiple times under him, kickbox, and then my one boxing match, we drive 14 hours to Destin. No, not Destin. We drive 14 hours. It was in Florida. It was close to Miami Beach. We were like an hour from Miami Beach. I don't know how far that is. But we drove in this big RV. I went down there, knocked the kid out in the 2nd round, and then he shut the gym down. Just randomly shut the gym down.
Shut it down. Whoa.
And my best friend, dude, every single day I'm with him, shaped everything. He just shut the gym down and kind of like ghosted. And
John, your first instructor.
Yeah, he was just going through it. He found this girl, and
oh man, we already know how that stuff.
You already know how that stuff goes. And in all honesty, the people in Chatsworth, they didn't come. We marketed the crap out of the gym, but there was never a consistent line in the gym. I was kind of like his his protege.
Yeah.
Like, I was the guy who, while people were always coming in and out, I was one of the guys who was consistent from the start, right?
I see.
So I was there always to work with him, and there was always people coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
He shuts the gym down, and don't really hear from him, and hear from him every now and again. I mean, he posted, I move up to AKB. He passed away. He ended up committing suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And it was like detrimental. That was my best friend, my boy, everything for me. And
Still at 15 at this point? Or
at this point, I was probably about to turn 17, I'd say, because I was 16 when he shut the gym down. And then I started training in Cleveland at AKB. That started everything because John morphed my style, right? John added this swag. I even had a sick movement, and I fought a lot. He gave me my mindset. He gave me my confidence, and that's the key. That's the key.
That's true.
But when I moved up to AKB, they were technical. Like, David Robbins was a technical mastermind, and really, when he was really into his coaching and stuff, he turned me into a little ninja. And at this point, I didn't want to do jiu-jitsu. I was you're just doing Muay Thai. Yeah, dude, it was just striking. And then I move out to Texas. I'm training with Strike Kings with Crew Kasib, Chadwick Turner. Crew is like is trained Jeff Neal and a couple big guys in the UFC. Alonzo Menenfield, and then Chadwick Turner is a killer USA Muay. He was the USA Muay Thai coach, and yeah, like he's really good, a really good strike. They're both great striking masterminds, and I was only with them for about 8 months, but in that time I got to move around with a bunch of UFC fighters, and I got to see new faces. They had a lot of connections, so I got to see that I could hang with the best of them. And now I'm back here in Tennessee with a Gogi, and I've been training with them for the last 2 years. And all jiu-jitsu, and they're the jiu-jitsu powerhouse in this state, right? So it's like, I think everything in my career has fell into place. Like, it's been a lot of tragedy in terms of most of the times I've left gyms have not been on good terms. It's been on pretty bad terms and just crap happening. But hell, dude, like, everything's fell into place. I've learned from some of the best. Even throughout that time of those gyms I went to, moving around. My grandparents are in California. I went out to California for about 3 months, and I got to train with Vince Cachero and Adam Lerner and Terrion Ware and like just some beast. And then even Boss Rutan. I don't know if y'all know who Boss Rutan is. Yeah. I trained at his gym for like 3 months, and I never really learned. He taught classes, so I'd go in and I'd do his kickboxing classes, and he'd always look at me from the corner of the eye, but he never say anything to me. I wasn't one of his fighters. I just kind of showed up for a summer. He knew that. But I got to talk to all of his like instructors and his right hand man and stuff, and those guys grew to really like me, and they really. That's when I started switching stances, and you're playing with more footwork patterns. Yeah, their whole style is like, instead of the traditional, you got the Muay Thai style where your hands are up and you're just kind of marching. They're just moving, switching stances, shifting angles. It's just so sweet, dude. I just feel like everything's fell into place. I've came from all of these great gyms, and not necessarily great gyms, but great instructors. All of my instructors have been skilled, very skilled, and if I know a gym's phony, I'm not going to go to the gym. I've checked out a few gyms that I've just like not dig the vibe of, and if I feel like it's phony, I don't take my time. I look for a really good, high quality gym with a good instructor, and all of my instructors have just been masterminds. And now I'm at a Gogi. That's all I needed was jiu-jitsu. When I was at Texas, at this point I still was barely doing jiu-jitsu. I'd been training for 3.5 years, right? 15. I moved out to Texas when I was 18, a little over. So like, I've been training for 3.5, almost 4 years, and I was a great striker. I knew I could stand and bang with the best of the UFC, but like, they took me down and beat the crap out of me. You know what I mean? Now, heck, I find a Gogi, and I've got 4 black belt instructors
Yeah.
who are all incredibly good. And not even that, but Elijah Carlton, I don't know if y'all know who Eli is, but he's a competitive brown belt BJJ player. You know the B team with Craig Jones and all
yeah,
that?
yeah.
He just did their 185 tournament, and he came second place because he didn't get a 4th match. The guy that he went against had 4 matches, and he only had 3. He subbed every single guy with heel hooks.
No way.
Every single guy with heel hooks. And yeah. And he's like our whole team's just amazing.
Yeah.
And now one thing I needed was BJJ, and now I got
it's
fucking
coming
BJJ.
together.
Yeah, dude, it's like everything's just
Everything fell in
morphing
place.
together. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. One thing that I do want to touch back on too is like leaving gyms, right? Maybe not the best way, or not even thing that you had to control, right? And overcoming that, you know, understanding how much that first gym meant to you, and you know how tragic it ended. How do you think that you started to heal from that? Like, if anything, was it a motivator? Did it deter you? How were you in that mindset? Like,
Dude, motivation. Motivation. Like, when I get into a state of something tragic happens to me or something, I don't like sitting and feeling pity for myself. I don't like sitting and feeling bad. Like, I would much rather take it out. You know what I mean? It's like when John passed away, it was pretty hard on me. It was pretty detrimental. Like, I kind of forgot my place in the sport. I just trained all the time. This is the problem. I fought a lot with John. Like, I fought all of my kickboxing and my boxing fights come with John. When I went to AKB, I had 1 fight. That I trained at AKB for 2 years.
wow, really?
I trained with John for 1.5 years, almost 2. I trained with AKB for 2. Moved to Texas. I trained with them for about 8 months, and now I've been with the Gogi for the last. And like for AKB, I was there for about 2 years and didn't have a single fight. You know what I mean? So I lost my place in the sport, and I just kind of like I didn't know what to do because AKB didn't end on good terms. You know, everything just kind of toppled down with that gym.
Drama or stuff like that, or
like I don't want to get too much into it because there's a lot of people's reputations and stuff, and a lot of people in our MMA community kind of know. Like everyone knows what happens, but at that point it's just kind of spreading drama, and I don't want to stir things back up.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but no, it
didn't end on good terms, and it's like I forgot my place in the sport, and with John's passing, like, it was hard to overcome, but then it just got to a point of motivation. Like, John, the one thing that motherfucker wanted me to be was a world champion. The one thing he wanted to see was a belt around my waist. He just loved training. He just loved fighting. He loved it. He loved everything about it, and I just I owe it to him to get all of that done. And I mean, he's the reason I wear the pink. He's that's my little symbol to him. Is he always wore pink. He was always that tough guy who wore pink kind of thing. The white boy who came out in the bright hot pink shorts and just it's like
So that's kind of like
it's all a tribute to him. Yeah, dude. Like
wow.
It's all very motivational to me. Everything happens for a reason. All the tragedies, everything has its place in life. But if there was one important person in my life, one person who really changed my life for the better, it was him. It was him.
Wow. Yeah, and it's crazy too how you say in this journey how everything did fall into place, you know, from your first instructor, you know, teaching you the mindset that you needed, because it's incredible how that's like the first thing that had to be instilled in you was a kind of mindset.
Well, that's the thing, is not many people teach that.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is not, you go into a gym and people will teach you all the fucking technique in the world, but they've got to teach you, they don't teach you how to prepare for war. Like, when the whole point of me getting in there and training wasn't to do it as a hobby. It was to go in there and fight people. It was to go in there and compete. When my mom, it was so funny because when she first showed up with the Muay Thai stuff, I kept telling her, like, no, Mom, I don't want to do karate, because I didn't think she knew what she was talking about. I was like, no, I don't want to do karate. That's lame. You know what I mean?
Funny.
And then I go in there and I'm getting freaking beat around, and I'm like, I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I want to fight. You know what I mean? The whole goal was to fight. It's always to fight. So when we trained with the intentions of fighting. I trained every single day with the intentions of trying to be the best in the world, even though I just started the sport.
Yeah.
I knew I was young. I knew I had time. I knew I had things to do. I just fell in love with it. It was always training to fight. And dude, if there was one guy who could get me in the mode, it was John. It was funny because I say we didn't have a big crowd and a big community.
Yeah.
Because we would develop some, but it was always me. He was always focused on me and getting me better. Because he knew at the end of the day, if you wanted to stay, if you were really about it, if you were really tough, you would stay. So if we had a big, like, I remember one day, like, this just speaks volumes to it. Like, this 6'2" guy comes in with his wife and his kid and had trained a couple days, and John's just like, all right, go out there, you're fighting him. Put the gloves on this guy and, like, just put me in. Like, it was just always, you live to fight.
Yeah.
We do this every single day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Not many people teach the mindset aspect, the aspect of being able to go and perform your actions. You know what I mean? And that's the key to all of this.
Yeah.
The key to all of this is being able to perform your skills, calm your nerves, and take advantage of the moment. Really perform.
Yeah, that's true. Do you ever dwell on how much of a blessing it is that you found your passion, you know, at such a young age? Like, how much thought do you give that? 'Cause that's incredible. That early
dude,
on
it is.
You found what was yours.
It is. It's awesome. I mean, it's like I have it. You shouldn't know what you're gonna do at my age. We shouldn't. Y'all shouldn't know what y'all are gonna do.
That's true.
Y'all don't know what y'all are gonna be in 15 years. You know what I mean? And it's like that can be a blessing and a curse because you live with freedom. You live with this freedom of I'm exploring. I know what I'm doing, but then you also live with this anxiety of like I don't know where I'm going. You know what I mean? And it's like when I'm sitting here and I get upset or I get anxious or I feel any sort of emotion, I know I know my purpose. I know what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I don't do this for the money. I do this for passion, dude. Like I was working a full-time job, 5 a.m., 2 p.m. 2 p.m., I get off. I be at the gym at 3 p.m. I get a workout in. I get a shower, take a little nap. I eat. I get another workout in. I go home, get home at 10, 11 some nights, get 3 or 4 hours of sleep, wake back up, go back to train. Right? It's a lifestyle.
That's true.
Dude, I don't do this for the money. I ended up getting, for the last, since my fight with Cody, I've been full-time. And it's been awesome.
Yeah.
I bet,
Talk about happiness, dude.
For sure.
I get to wake up every day and train.
Yeah.
I coach kids. I coach kids and I do privates to make a little bit of money. I've got sponsors on board now, like the farm CBD products. If y'all ever need any CBD and stuff, I can hook y'all up. Like
Awesome.
their stuff's super legit. And then Scenic City Solar, Ray, he helps me out a lot. Like,
wow, isn't that a blessing, man?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna do. If I ever get down, if I ever get sad, I know what I'm gonna wake up and do the next day. I know what makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's also, like I said, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, I know what I'm gonna do, but I'm trapped to it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have this. It's all I do. It's all I do. I find hobbies throughout. Like, sometimes you play video games. Sometimes you'll pick up on basketball. Sometimes you get these side hobbies, but there's always the main goal. You can't stray away from the main goal.
Definitely.
I'm in too deep now. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love every second of it. It's awesome. It's like I'm tied to something that's just, I know every single day I can get better. I know every single day it's never the same. It's never the same. It's never repetitive. It's not going to a 9 to 5 every single day.
Definitely.
When every role's different. Every fight's different. And there's something that keeps you attached to it. Something that keeps you driving to it.
Yeah. And you're right about that. There's definitely a beauty in both aspects of, like, you know, still being in the exploring stage versus, you know, being like owned in on completely, one thing, and like, the goal, the destination. It's just a matter of, just showing up every day and enjoying the
Exactly.
process.
The
So,
consistency.
the consistency,
The
yeah.
consistency. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
You'll get better eventually.
Yeah.
That's
Just
true.
keep going.
That is true.
Very
Yeah, I can
true.
definitely see that. And give us, because getting sponsorships, right? And, okay, finding your passion is one thing, right? But making money from your passion is a whole different blessing.
Yeah, monetizing
So,
it for sure.
yeah, monetize, being able to make money from it. So, how'd you feel, or how'd you even come across, your first sponsors? Like, how was that? Or how'd you even form that connection?
So in terms of making money off it, like you said, that is awesome. But I'm also about to start a job this week back at Walmart because I need that money. It slows down during holiday seasons. But
Sure.
in terms of like, it's a hustler's mindset. You know what I mean? Like you gotta take it. Everybody thinks the money's gonna come to them. Everything's gonna come to them. You've got to work for everything, and I hate asking for money.
Yeah.
I hate money. I hate that money's a thing. There's nothing. It's almost embarrassing having to ask people for help, but it's what it takes to be able to do this for my life. You know what I mean? And I've got an amazing. My mom helps supply my meal plans, and she still helps me.
That's awesome.
I've got my girlfriend's amazing family. They're always there to help me. They're always there to help me with meal plans. And then sponsors show up, and that's been the game changer. Is having people who will give you a nice little chunk of change to just train and just support them. You know, it's awesome. It's not
That's
even
awesome. No, for sure.
it's they see something in you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If you see something in someone enough to be willing to give me a check, it's like the money isn't it's that support. It's that
support,
it's like now I wake up in the morning and I don't want to go train. It's like, well, hell, these people are paying me. You know what I mean? It's like I've got these two families who need feeding, like I've got to try to make it. They see potential. It's all a big investment. I know money's not here right now, but if I sit there and I commit, in a few years, money's going to be there. Money's fine.
Exactly.
That's true.
I've got time to make money. Most
Money
people
to
don't
worry,
become
man.
millionaires till they're 40.
Exactly.
We've got time. Money
true.
That's
comes
the
and
truth,
goes.
man.
Let's have fun. Let's
Yeah,
have
that's a
fun.
good
You know what I
point.
mean?
Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
let's have fun. Let's enjoy.
One thing that makes me think of too
Stay
is
focused, grind.
you've won 5 out of your 5, right? Out of your, like, is it official record?
Yeah, 5-0, 5-0.
5-0.
I'm undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were talking about sponsors, things that you're already doing.
Yeah.
We're only 5 in, guys.
Yeah, boy.
You know
As
what
an
I mean?
Emmy
Point.
too.
Exactly.
As an Emmy too.
And I want to
Wow.
emphasize this too, to show, like, what was the mindset with your first match stepping in the octagon versus still just the 5th one, but still just as important as
Swag,
the first
baby.
one.
Stun on them.
Yeah?
Stun on 'em. Every single time I want to go out there and I want to stun on them. It gets different. Each fight has a different mindset. Like with my first MMA fight, I hadn't fought in, like I said, I hadn't fought in 3.5 years. I'd want to say maybe a little more.
Wow, really?
Do you know how? And my first opponent, I don't know if y'all saw that guy, but he was this. He had green dreads. He's this yoked black guy who had an 8-pack, like a legit
damn.
8-pack.
Goodness.
Scary looking dude. When I said, dude,
Yeah.
my manager at Walmart, I walked in after I beat the dude up. I walked in on Monday and he was like, I really thought you were gonna get whipped. Like when you see us two standing side by side, you don't see it.
That's
That was 3
crazy.
years off, dude. It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Each fight has a different mindset. You eventually figure out who you are and how you perform best. And some people like to be the nice guys. Some people like to be the heel. Some people like to be the underdog. Everybody's got their own little shtick. I feel like I adapt. It doesn't matter who you put in front of me. It doesn't matter what I'm feeling, what night. I'm gonna find a way to beat the dude up. But nothing comes out of me more than when I got that smoke. When me and the dude are beefing, or even when he's not beefing with me. I can build up. When I'm prepping for a fight, I build up. This guy's my enemy. You know what I mean? Y'all know me as, like, I'm not a very aggressive dude. You know what I mean? I'm not very mean.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But, like, dude, when when I'm prepping for that one dude, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
You're taking something I've worked for. You've taken something that I've spent every single day grinding for. You know what I mean? Like my next opponent, I'll be fighting for the title. I'm thinking March or April. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him. He's been ignoring me, and he plays this nice guy figure of doesn't do the crap talk, which is okay. He doesn't have to. You don't have to talk crap to me, but it's the same every single time. They see me as this loudmouth redhead kid who wears pink shorts, and like you see me as this cocky little kid, but you don't see the hours I put in the gym. You see me as this cocky kid, but you wouldn't know that I'm the most coachable guy in that room. Ooh. You wouldn't know. My coaches come up to me and show me something, I'm instantly implementing it. Yeah. You won't. I will do anything to beat this guy. And it just, everybody thinks it's all a facade, and then you're standing across from me in the cage, and we're 20 seconds away from walking across there and about to put our fist on each other, and you see it in my eyes. I'm coming for you.
That's all there.
This 8 weeks has built up to this moment, and I've got all of this pent up aggression I'm ready to let out on you. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different shape. Yeah. I know this guy's not gonna come in there and try to. He's not gonna trash talk with me. He's gonna stay away from it, and it's cool. I've had multiple guys like that. It doesn't matter how they act. I'm gonna be me. You know what I mean? If I feel like I want to crap talk, I'm gonna talk shit to the guy. You know what I mean? If I feel like maybe I don't, then I won't. It's authenticity. It's authenticity. Authenticity. Yeah. It's authenticity. Yeah. Everything I do is authentic. It's how I feel in the moment. Nothing's planned. I don't plan anything. Yeah. I go out there and I see where everything's going to take me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And something else comes out every single time. Something else comes out every single time.
I think that's really good to be able to, say how you feel and then be able to back it up on top of that. And then, letting your personality show. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that you're not just putting on this image. Because it doesn't seem like you really care about what people think or this image that you want to put out there. It's just like, this is me, and I'm ready to show it all out, when that day comes. So
I know awesome. I'm a joke. I know, like, I'm a joke and I'm not. Like, I know when you see the kid in the pink shorts and the red hair, like the red shaggy hair, like you're probably, and then he's sitting there rapping a song as he's walking down to the cage and he's talking crap to the guy, and just, you can't help but look at that and go, huh, you know what I mean? And then it's like, then you see me, it puts pressure on me. All of my actions put pressure on me.
You're right, actually.
Like I said, dude, pressure makes diamonds. Yeah. Like, there's nothing that feels better. It's the adrenaline. It's all comes down to the adrenaline, the rush of the testosterone and the adrenaline that I get. Yeah. Something just pumps me up, dude. Yeah. And when you can sit there and you're saying everything, and you go out there and you put your hands on the dude. My last fight, nonstop been talking crap to the guy. Nonstop. Was DMing him on Instagram weeks leading up to the fight. I'm tagging him in posts. I'm telling you, nonstop. We're sitting like I'm shadowboxing in the cage, because when you have to go to a rules meeting and stuff. I'm shadowboxing in the cage, and he's sitting right beside it. Man. And I'm standing in the cage, and I'm just moving around. And I always kind of hook up my music. I play some, I put my timers on, and I just go crazy. I like breaking a nice little sweat. And I see him sitting in the crowd, and something clicks, dude. It just clicks every single time. And I look over at him, and I start using his face as like a target. Man. Dude, just nonstop digging at him. Right, he walked into the bathroom, and I try to keep it... I try to not go overboard. Like, you don't want the... There's a line, a fine line. Sure. Yeah. There comes a point where it's like, if you're sitting there and you're my opponent, and I'm like, "Fuck you, Harvey. You're a pussy." Like, that doesn't do it. What kind of crap talk's that? You know what I mean? There's nothing creative about that. It's like Neanderthal crap talk.
Doesn't do much.
It's nothing. But when you can really spit out a nice little line and drop the mic and walk away, there's something different about it, dude.
It gets inside their head.
So you've got to have a nice balance of, like, keeping your composure, but I let my emotions carry me. My emotions motivate me. My anger, my sadness, everything pushes me to be better. But you don't want it to take over. You don't want it to change this, because this helps with this, right?
Yeah.
This helps with this. All of this should be thinking.
Yeah.
If I'm doing BJJ, and I'm trying to land a move, I need my brain to really set up the move, to plan it out, to know what's going on. But I can use the emotions, the anger, the motivation. I can use all of that in my body to give me a harder drive on my body, right? So you have to find a nice balance to it. And it's just, I don't even know how to explain it, dude. When you're talking crap and you're leading up to the fight and you're just, it's fun.
Get that energy.
It's fun, dude, and it puts pressure. And then you go out there and you perform, and I don't even. It's not even. It's like it's not even anything I can explain. Like, it's like I compare being in the cage to like a mushroom trip. It's like I know it's weird. I know it's weird, but so y'all know y'all are big into meditation, right? Y'all know that, like, if you meditate hard enough, you can produce the same chemical that's in DMT, and you can actually have psychedelic induced trips from meditating, right? Because all of that's produced in our brain, dude. It's I don't understand the science behind it, but especially when it's a good show. The show y'all went to the lighting wasn't super nice. It was kind of a low budget show. I always fight on big cards. I always look for cards with the professionals where I know I'm going to have the big lights. I know I'm going to have the big crowd. I know I'm going to have the big show. When you're fighting on a big show, especially like my last card was a pretty big show. When you're fighting on a big show, all this adrenaline and it's like a high. You're kind of like, you're just high. Like, it's like an adrenaline high. And then you go out there and the lights are beaming and the crowd is white noise. All you can hear is your breath, and you're just eyed in on this one guy standing across the cage. And this guy, you can tell everything in these 2 seconds that I'm watching him just pace back and forth. I can see everything. I can see. It's different.
It's giving away.
Yeah, dude. All of your senses are heightened. Everything's heightened.
Wow.
Everything's. You're in. Y'all watch anime, y'all like Dragon Ball. It's like, dude, it's like going Super Saiyan. It's like going Ultra Instinct. Like, I'm serious. When you reach a different flow, you're not thinking, you're just doing. And
that's awesome.
Awesome. You don't feel anything either. That's what makes it even more fun. You think you're trading kicks with someone, like, it hurts. When your adrenaline starts dumping down, if you're not
probably feeling it.
You feel it a little bit, but. Not for that first round, dude. That first round, that adrenaline's pumping. If you can some guys just have adrenaline that just pumps through forever. Trevor Peak, one of my teammates, he's also undefeated. He's 6-0 as a pro, and he just won on the Contender Series.
That's right,
Dana White, the Contender Series. So he's in the UFC. He's waiting on his he's probably going to get his fight early next year.
Really?
Wow.
So he's officially.
Yeah. He signed a contract with him. He's got.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's a 3 or 4 fight deal.
Damn,
But it's a cool little contract. He's in the UFC.
Awesome.
He's in the UFC. Yeah. The adrenaline that dude has is just next level. Like, he starts growling and barking at his opponents. Like, he turns into like a dog, dude.
He takes over.
He's one of those guys you've got to kill to put out. Everybody's got their different levels. So it's based a lot on the person and your mindset. Some people don't perform when their adrenaline's pumping well. Some people need a calm, calculated mind. Some people, their emotion can really take them to the next level. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you harness it? How much do you know about yourself? What do you know you need to do in order to perform well?
Dang, you might be onto something with that one. Trying to figure out how.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry.
It's okay. I took a picture of the vehicle and I texted it to Casey, and I said, if I get murdered, I'm going to
Did
my
you not
house.
see mine?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I didn't know. You might be in here dead.
I'm here.
If I get murdered,
man.
We were doing it at my house, but the city's doing a bunch of work in my house, and I was like, oh, I'm sure we can just do this.
You're good.
Okay,
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you for not murdering me.
No. Oh man. That's funny.
Oh, she's funny.
Yeah, she's awesome.
One thing I wanted to say too, to add to what you were saying, because I guess it's you. You're the fighter. You see it from your point of view, and us as outsiders, knowing
Yeah.
you, I can already feel the passion, feel the energy, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you're watching this, you feel it as well, because I'm feeling it here. I'm trying to contain
Yeah.
myself because I'm hyped.
Yeah,
guys.
no,
I get
I
hyped.
wanna go out and do some training now.
I want to go train out. Briven
Yeah.
makes me want to go put work in.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't do that to you, you know, I mean, it should, guys. It should, if
Yeah.
anything. It
Mhm.
triggers it. And
Yeah.
I can see that passion, though.
Mhm.
And that's how you know. You can actually see the difference between someone that claims something's a passion,
Mhm.
says it is, versus you're feeling it. You're
That's
feeling
true.
it, guys.
It radiates off of them.
It's exactly. It's like I said, authenticity. It's all authentic. Everything I feel is genuine. Every way I express myself, every action I do, everything's genuine. Everything's 110% me.
Mhm.
If you're not living your life with passion, it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Mhm.
emotions are healthy if you can use them to your advantage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Emotions are superpowers. Everything's you can channel them and use them to push you to the next level.
Mhm.
And when you're passionate
Mhm.
and obsessed, there's not a better combination.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There's not a better combination
That's
of
true.
emotions you can have,
Yeah.
because you wake up every morning and jump out of bed and go, I know exactly what the fuck I want to do. You know what I mean?
I think that's the major difference between people not knowing, right?
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
just like, what do I do today? Like, do I
Oh,
have
man.
something
That's
to do?
that's another thing.
What are
You've
you
got to
working
work
towards?
around
Yeah.
it. You've got to
Oh,
balance it, because most people aren't passionate about their 9 to 5.
Mhm.
Most people aren't passionate about their job.
Yeah.
But I used to have to work 40 hours a week and manage my passions with it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, but you know, in that day, that whatever, if you're passionate about reading, if you're passionate about drawing, you're passionate about working out or martial arts or whatever it may be, you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna get a little bit of time to do that.
Mhm.
Something feels good about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true.
Something feels good about that. And if you should live your life with passion. We don't have enough time in this world to waste.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I've just always lived by that mindset. I don't think time's valuable. This life thing is valuable, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like when all the kids in high school were partying and drinking and doing their. I was known as the kid who didn't drink, didn't party,
Mhm.
didn't smoke. I didn't do anything in high school. I
Mhm.
trained.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
trained and I worked.
That says a lot.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, while everybody was out there doing their thing, and it's not to say I'm not having fun, just
Mhm.
people view fun as drinking and alcohol. And
Yeah.
like, you can have fun by, when I'm having my downtime, instead of getting hammered, I may play some video games
Yeah.
or watch some
Yeah,
YouTube.
there
That's
you
the
go.
difference.
I don't
That's
need
true.
drugs and alcohol, you know what
That's
I mean?
true.
And it's like, people fall in love with these things that don't matter and
Mhm.
waste your time.
Yeah.
The number one advice I give, because like you said, when people know I have what I want to do figured out,
Mhm.
and there comes with a sense of like a respect to that, because a lot of people are wondering, not knowing what they're doing, especially at our age.
Yeah. No,
I always try to tell people, is just the one thing you need to worry about in high school is just getting your money up. Hustle,
right.
dude.
Yeah.
Hustle. There's so much. Money's the biggest factor. Money's the biggest thing. You can't do anything in high school. You know what I mean? So why not spend your time making some money? Then once you graduate, if you're not planning on going to school, use that money to invest in something, or even while you're in high school, invest in something. Or if you want to travel, you can travel. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, you're sitting in high school wasting your time drinking and smoking and doing
a
nicotine
waste,
now. It's like,
sure.
you get out of high school and you're like,
Well, no.
What now?
exactly. It's like,
That's
true,
exactly.
man.
What now? You
Yeah,
haven't
that's
thought
true.
about the future. You haven't thought about the future. You don't dwell on the future,
That's so
but
true.
the future should guide you in your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Your future is going to be based off of your day-to-day actions. Your day-to-day actions will change your future.
Yeah.
110%.
That's
Yeah.
true.
If you
Yeah,
want
for
something,
sure.
you got to go get it.
Mm-hmm. That there's something about too, like you said, like money. As much as people might not want to admit it, is a huge factor when it comes to anything you pursue, anything
Yeah.
you do.
100%.
And the less of a problem that is, the more freedom you have to explore and do
Everything
other
else.
things.
Exactly.
So, having that, financial stress low allows you to pursue things a lot more freely, a lot more openly and even coming across maybe their passion where they wouldn't have been able to come across it if they just said, well, you know what, I'm not looking at my future. I'm just focused on paying the bills that I have right now, so I'm going to go settle for a job, and then, there goes your exploration. You feel boxed in because, well, I got to work to pay the bills, and the bills keep coming, so I got to keep working.
Exactly. They get stuck in the present. You get stuck in the present. And it's like everybody dwells on a different... I don't know. Some people dwell in the past. Some people dwell in the present. Some people dwell in the future. I think you need a healthy balance of it all. You know what I mean? Your past made you who you are. You should come to terms with that. You should be aware of it. With the present... You should be enjoying the present. You should be enjoying. You don't get this, but it's special. Life is special. You know what I mean? And then with the future, death is a big fear of mine. I don't want to be sitting on my deathbed and be saying, "I wish, I wish," or "I should have," or "I remember." No, like I want to be sitting on my deathbed ready to go because I know I've lived life to the fullest and I know I've done everything I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful right there. Earlier you mentioned something that I think you were getting on that's very important, and it's like learning how to harness your emotions, right? Like you said, for some people the adrenaline is overwhelming. They don't perform. They mess up. For some people, that adrenaline is perfect for them because that's that extra boost they need to perform.
I love it.
And, there is that healthy balance with it. And you kind of also mentioned about, comparing all these emotions to like a mushroom trip. And it's like heightened senses of awareness to the max, right? Like you said, you're analyzing everything's up through the roof.
And it's beautiful. The lighting's going on. When you feel your shin smack the dude's arm or his head, and you like, it's just like, I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy and brutal, but it's like when you're in the moment of it, it all happens so fast, but there's a beauty to it.
Yeah.
And like it is like, it's like a mushroom trip. It's like, it's the best way. Everything's heightened. Everything's clear. Everything's beautiful. And it's just a different mode that you enter.
Yeah, and I bet you like appreciate the little thing. Like you said, like when something connects, it's like a little spark of appreciation each time it happens. And that's what I'm getting at. Is like, you don't need drugs. You don't need these things that distract you when you find something that's that powerful for you. When you get into the zone of something, that can be your drug. That can be your high, that rush that you get.
But don't get it twisted. Like I drink every now and again. Alcohol is not good for me. I'm like I said, of Irish heritage, and I don't think alcohol bears well with me. I've never been drunk and not blacked out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like it's like one of those things where you get it and my brain thinks more. I don't even become conscious to it at a point. I just go overboard. So I stay away from that as much as I can. I can have it sometimes, get a little buzzed and chill.
So you feel like you have a healthy balance with it then?
Yeah, but I don't even enjoy it really anymore. Like,
There's
what's the
difference,
point?
right, for
What's
sure.
the point? But weed, I do smoke. I do smoke. That's also something that I'm having to become. I'm having to come to terms with right now, is because I don't know if y'all smoke. I don't think so.
I had to stop for a good bit.
Yeah. It becomes part of you. You do
actually,
it. You wake up and it's the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
It's like it starts as a reward. This is what happened. It's like with training, right? Like I said, I was always against it. Right? And then when I moved back to Agoge, I got opened up more to it. And at the time, I was going through a lot, and I'm also training, and my body's getting beat up. It's like it's a way to get away from your problems. It's a way to relax, right? So not only does I see it as like a medicine, like it helps, but my brain is also like me and my grandma, our brains kind of work alike, and she uses this example of like it's like a hamster on a wheel, and it's just running all the time, full speed, and then there's more hamsters keep piling up, and those are like thoughts, and they just keep running, and then you get combined with just all these thoughts, and it's all crammed in one, and then it just overflows.
Starts becoming a mess for
Yeah,
sure.
dude, it sucks, but
that.
when you smoke, it's like it all calms down,
It all
it all
kinda
chills
mellows out
out.
a little.
Exactly,
That's
but then
true.
it comes to a point where, then it started. I was like, oh, if I could do this right now, why don't I do it all the time? And then you wake up in the morning and you do it, and then you're training and you're high while you're training, and then it's just all day, every day you're high. And it's just not a way I want to live life, because I like the natural beauty of it.
Yeah.
There's something about natural that's always compelled to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you still feel like there's a time and place for that kind of stuff, right? Just not
For sure,
constantly.
I'm gonna schedule it. So like
Consciously,
weekends,
yeah.
possibly maybe after like a hard training session,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, or a long day or something of the.
Mhm.
But the all day every day, I
Mhm.
can't do.
That's
But I
a good
will
one.
say, when I started smoking before 10 round Tuesday
Yeah.
and going in there and
Yeah,
rolling
10
for an
round
hour,
Tuesday's
dude,
insane.
no, it opens a creative window.
I agree with that. I
Dude,
actually do agree with that. I believe
and,
that.
and
Yeah.
it's like you when you're stoned, like you feel it in your lungs, right? So you get tired quicker,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but you're also high. So it's like you don't
Yeah,
care that
I
you're
know.
tired, so you're
Yeah.
just like you're just nonstop going, and
Yeah.
you really just don't get tired. You're
Yeah.
tired, but you're not tired.
Have you seen that new event they had? It's called like High Rollers.
High
And-
Rollers. They
Yeah,
do-
see, that's
You've
awesome.
seen that?
Eli,
He does
the one he's won it twice. He's,
Really?
Yeah.
What?
He's won it.
What
And-
the heck?
Damn,
I did not
that's
know
badass.
that.
Or maybe he's won it once, and he's the Submission Underground. That's Chael Sonnen's grappling thing.
Hmm.
He's won that one a couple
Wow,
times.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a really good
awesome.
competitive brown belt. I'm telling,
Definitely.
dude, I'm telling y'all. Agogi's there, always right down the road when y'all want to
Yeah.
learn, dude.
Yeah.
It's such. There's so many assets to take control of.
Mhm.
And just pop in whenever you want, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
appreciate
telling
that,
you,
man.
it's
Yeah, we definitely
easy.
do appreciate that.
It's easy to learn.
Yeah, I guess when the environment's right, you know, and everyone's willing to help you, it just
And you
The
don't have to
chemistry's there.
bank on the instructors. It's not all on the The instructors are good. The instructors are leading. The instructors are
Yeah.
teaching. But
Mhm.
hell, man, I have probably 6 training partners, I'd like to say, who genuinely take time and study.
Yeah.
Because I become obsessed. I watch YouTube videos.
For
and
sure.
It's my
You get in
life.
those
If I'm
ruts,
playing
for
video
sure.
games, I'm probably playing UFC. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like the people you meet are also obsessed, and then
Mhm.
you meet obsessive people who aren't your instructors, who you're
Yeah.
just sitting there and bouncing techniques off of and learning stuff from a guy who's not even a black belt, just because you watched an
Yeah,
instructional
that's-
together, and now
that's
you're
true.
playing with new moves. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That's an important aspect of it. Let me ask you this, because this is interesting too when it comes to, all right, you found what you want to do. There's a spark within you that you feel like this is what you should pursue. When it comes to distractions, right? Like how do you classify something as a distraction, and how do you know when to get rid of it? Because I kind of like what you were saying about when it becomes an obsession, suddenly everything around that obsession becomes a part of it in a way. So like
Mhm.
maybe, okay, for you it's the training and the fights that are coming up, but then everything around it, your entertainment in the form of video games is even fighting. Maybe the YouTube videos you watch that used to be entertainment in the past are now, you know, learning new techniques, and that becomes your new form of entertainment. And it seems like certain things just kind of
Exactly.
build up around it, and
Exactly.
it helps it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also can become. It depends on what you want out of everything. I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with martial arts, so I just love watching. Especially, I don't know if y'all have but the B Team Jiu Jitsu
They're
channel,
insane,
even
yeah.
Gold Town, dude. The stuff, I'm a visual learner, so like.
Yeah, seeing what they do.
Yeah, it's seeing what they do. You see the way they move. You see the way they shift their weights. You see the stuff they're. I'm a very visual learner.
Mhm.
I watch someone do it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I'm thinking, and then it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people who need to ride it, or everybody learns differently,
That's
right?
really true.
So my thing is visual. So watching fights and watching YouTube videos, what better way is there to learn?
That-
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
Because then
true.
I swear, I'll be in jujitsu positions, like I'll be, because I try to stay calm under the pressure when you're really getting into it.
Definitely.
Yeah, when you're not rolling with a brute head and you're rolling with technical guys,
Yeah.
you can be really technical and think through positions.
Mhm.
And when you can think, I'll be sitting there and I'm like, oh, I saw this in a B Team video. I saw Craig Jones
For
try this. Let me see.
sure.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
literally
For
just right there.
sure.
And then you're like the dude has freaking like overhooks, for example, and he's using a butterfly to off tempo me.
Mhm.
And I've got underhooks. I'm posting up on my head, and I'm like, oh, I saw Craig do this. Walk my hips, pummel my feet. Now I'm back in mount. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
like
wow.
you can learn so much. There's so many assets to learn from. You
Yeah.
don't need to take it just into your instructor's hands. You can do it yourself.
That's a good
That's a major
point.
part about it.
Matt and Stacy are 2 biggest black belt instructors.
Mhm.
Matt tells me, you know how me and Stacy learned? When they first learned, they started in a garage. He said they would roll, and he would go, one guy would start with a move, say a sweep, right?
Mhm.
And then he sweeps them, and then he's on top, and he'd go, what would you do from here? And then he'd make a movement, and then he'd go, what would you do from here? And then he'd make a movement, and then they just keep
Oh,
moving
that's
and breaking it down,
clean.
and then it becomes like an understanding of the positions,
Yeah.
right? It's like you can take, and then watching videos and trying new things, you know what I mean? Like, you can take it into your own hands to learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That
Were
makes
you
a lot of
talking
sense.
about good distractions, though, like, and stuff, or are you talking about bad distractions?
I
Like,
think-
eventually it can pile up and take over
Yeah,
your
because
life.
you want to get rid of the bad ones, and
'Cause
some
I've got
people can
both.
replace them. You know?
Exactly. I've got both.
Yeah.
It's like you can replace them, like you
Yeah.
said, but like at the same time, like I've got bad distractions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm a very obsessive. I live my life with passion. I live my life.
Mhm.
I'm upset. I get obsessed about
Yeah.
everything. There's always one goal, and that's becoming an MMA champion.
Mhm.
But you get these little side quests that can
Mhm.
last, a couple hours to
Yeah.
maybe a couple days sometimes,
Mhm.
depending
Yeah,
on how
definitely.
long they come
Yeah.
in and out. And like video games sometimes become a distraction. Some people develop distractions with girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not there's never necessarily, now of course if you're getting drunk and like you're really wasting your time with your distractions, then yeah, they can really backtrack you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
But-
think that's the major
but-
difference, right?
Exactly.
Start to take away more than it adds.
You've got to know
Oh.
yourself. You got to know what you can handle. You
Mhm.
got to know what's too much for you, and is it steering you. The way I balance things is, if I go and do something, I'm always weighing it with, first of all, do I want to? Because if I don't want to, I just say no. I just don't want
Yeah.
to. Exactly. Right. But if I do want to, am I going to be safe? Is this a smart choice? Will this steer me off track from my main goal?
Yeah.
No, those are good
Always the
questions.
main goal. Always, if it steers me, that's always the main one. You know what I mean? That's the
Mhm.
first one I think of is this gonna help or hurt my MMA?
Yeah.
Help or hurt my career? You know what I mean? And
Ooh.
that's not to say that like I won't go out and enjoy myself every now and again, because you do need a healthy balance of social life and
Mhm.
everything.
That's
but
true.
like I shouldn't go out and get hammered and then be hungover for the next day to where I can't train,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
that's
On a
good
big
one.
training
Starts
day,
messing
right?
up. Mhm.
Starts to back
That's
up.
undisciplined. That's bad discipline.
Nice.
Nice.
Car going by
It's just
quick.
bad discipline.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
That's true, and sometimes it's hard to catch them though, because you don't know if it's just like this slow decline, and like what started off as letting one thing slip, and you let the other thing slip. And I like what you said. Is it helping or hurting my career? We say the same thing with it's a vote, right? Are we
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
casting a vote for the person we want to be or the person we don't want
That's
to be?
cool.
And it's
That's
like you
cool.
always
I
gotta
like that.
like ask yourself: is what I'm about to do something that the person I want to be would do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like would future me be
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's sick. I love that, because like for me, it's always, I think, career, right?
Yeah, yeah,
but for if you like you said, if you don't have a career or whatever it may, if you don't know necessarily what you're doing,
Mhm.
your morals should come
Morals.
first. It should
Yeah.
be who you are. You should know
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Do I even like this, or am I
Yeah.
doing this
Mhm.
to help, or am I doing this to
Blend in.
to
with
blend
others.
in?
Yeah,
Or
that's
yeah, exactly.
true.
Be yourself. Be who you want to be. Be authentic. And at the end of the day, saying no, some people will get petty and butthurt and hate that. But at the end of the day, most people will respect you for your authenticity.
Mhm.
They will
Mhm.
respect you because when you look at someone and that person knows who they are,
Mhm.
you can't take anything away from them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You gain this sense of respect, like you're not fake, you're
Mhm.
trustworthy, you're
Mhm.
authentic, you're
Mhm.
genuine.
Yeah.
I can trust your wording. I know you're gonna be you. You're not
Yeah.
gonna steer from the direction because someone else pops into the picture, or
Mm,
because
that's a person with integrity right there.
exactly
Yeah.
exactly
No, that's an awesome characteristic for someone to have, is that this person is not going to get swayed in any direction. Is not
Mhm.
going to get off track, and you can trust their word. You know that they're going to do what they say they're going to do, and that's an awesome thing. And I feel like it has a lot to do with like friends, and who you surround yourself with can also deter you or help you stay on that path. Because
Mhm.
at some points it's like,
Sure.
well, all my friends are doing it. They seem to have balanced out lives,
Drop
but
'em.
you don't know the mental battles they're having
Yeah.
when they go back home.
that,
you know?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
So it's like you don't know if this is just a coping mechanism that y'all share, rather than, something that's just social and that you just never question, and, you'll slowly decline as well. It's like, it's really hard to tell, because you don't know how they're truly feeling inside. For you, it might be a fun thing. For them, it might be a coping mechanism. Y'all share that thing. Y'all two go home, and y'all are just at different levels mentally,
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to tell what you're doing that's truly something fun and social versus something that's a detriment, and it's just a slow decline.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's always good to, like, have conversations with your friends, have conversations with the people around you. I feel like some people are scared to kind of, like, they feel like it's prying into people's lives, into your friends' lives. But I see them as, like, healthy conversations. Like, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're doing? What are you aiming towards? And having, like, constructive conversations.
See, that's where... Are you talking in sense of, like, the direction in their life or their emotional state? Because, like, I know, like, personally for me, like, I'm bad about having those emotional conversations. Like, I'm an emotional person. And but it's hard for me to show empathy and compassion and stuff toward, like, it's hard for me to I don't know how to explain.
Let me give you an example then.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of what I'm, like, aiming at is it's always great to see, your friends that have something in mind and they're pursuing it, right? That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing. But when you see a friend that's kind of, like, in a low mental state or is, like, going through it, are you the kind of person that asks about it, says, hey, we got this, let's go to it, you're showing that empathy and compassion because you genuinely want the best for them rather than saying, I don't kind of want to pry into that.
No, it's always people when someone, mental health has become such a big part of my life, and you just see everybody struggle, you know what I mean? Everybody has their own struggles, but then you really come across people who have their struggles isn't in their day-to-day life. Their struggles legitimately in the chemical balance in their brain. Like, they can't control what's going on up here, you know what I mean? And it's the last thing I want to see is someone I love crumple from that again. So yeah, dude, if I see anyone who's really going for it, I try to reach out. I try to help them. I try to do as much as I can. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I can't. You've also got to have a balance of, like, you can't let it make you sad and emotional also. You can't let it come in and affect you. You've got to see it from an outside point of view, and you can show the empathy and tell them, hey, I love you, I'm here for you. Yeah. But you also do have to have a balance of, like, leveling with them and letting them know the facts and letting them know, hey, I love you, you mean the world to me, I want to see you do better, so let's do something about this. Let's not sit around and lay all day and indulge in food and movies and stuff. You know what I mean?
Because it can be.
Let's do something healthy about this. Let's go. Let's go eat some lunch and talk. Let's go for a drive. Let's you know what I mean? Let's go work out. Seriously, let's go work out. Let me hold some pads for you. Teach you how to punch a little bit. Dude, like, it's a it's science. When you work out,
that's a good point.
When you work out, you can't feel super sad after working out. It releases happy endorphins. It releases stuff that makes you happy, stuff that makes you feel positive. You know what I mean?
I think one critical thing too, leading in to those conversations, is how you can really start to get to a person, right? Because if they're so set on not wanting to, or maybe they're so set in the feelings they feel, maybe it's just about how you came and talked to them that led them to be willing to even want to. Because so many people can go and tell this person, hey, just go out, let's just do something, their mom, their dad, something, versus how they said it made them not want to, versus the person, you care about them, right? So you're asking it in a way where, hey, we understand what's happening, but
for sure,
let's do something about it too, right?
But there's a firmness to it. There's always a firmness to it, because I'm gonna level with you. Everyone knows me as, like I said, I see everything from the outside in. I'm gonna think of a logical way that could fix the problem,
Mhm.
right? I'm gonna put my emotions to the side and I'm gonna think logically, what can we do to help this? What's proven to help this? What can I do?
Because it still stems from love at the end of the day.
It's all love. I love these people. So why if I'm sitting here and taking the time to reach out to you, and especially if you really cherish my word and cherish or respect, kind of in a sense of what can help. Not everybody needs to hear it from their mom and their parents, because that triggers that rebellious side. But when it's someone who will level with you, someone who you know loves you, who's a friend to you, who can sit there and be like, hey, you know, I love you, I hope you feel better, I'm here for you if you ever need to talk, you know, maybe let them rant, let them cry on your shoulder a little bit. Once everything passes over, we go, okay, how can we fix this? What can we do? And if you're going to sit there and say, I just want to lay and cry and mope, I mean, cool. You know what I mean? I can't force you to do anything. I love you. I'm going to motivate you and I'm going to try to help you. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you want to sit there and mope, that's cool. But then, again, I look at it from a logical side. I'm not, next time you sit here and you come crying to me or you come wanting empathy from me, I'm going to go, are you ready to do something about it?
Do something about it, for
So
sure.
at that point, it just becomes complaining.
It just becomes complaining and pity. And everybody deals with adversity. Everyone deals with problems. Everyone gets sad. You've got to want to better yourself.
Yeah.
I've seen people who have mental disorders, but who don't take the time out of their day to even research what their mental disorders are or really understand them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like you see people get in this state of sadness and they use it for, or this state of the world owes them something.
Yeah.
They just feel like I said, like the world just owes them something,
Yeah.
and nothing's owed to you. You know what I mean? You got to live your life how you want to live it, and you only have so many years in this world, and the last thing I'm gonna do is spend my years sulking in sadness, and I'm gonna try to do something about it at least.
Yeah.
At
That's the
least
important
try
part,
to
yes.
do something. Dude, you want to talk about rough, like, or like a crappy way, like John passes away, all of my gyms shut down. All I know is MMA. COVID hits. I don't know where I'm going. I stopped training. I'm like, what's going on? Then at that time, I move out to Texas. I get married, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Divorced. Cheated on. Within 8 months of living in
Whoa,
Texas,
man.
divorced,
That's
cheated on.
insane.
Then you move back. I had been without my family. I have no friends. All my friends have moved up to college. I'm back in. I don't know what's going on. I'm depressed. I'm spiraling down. Everything's just going bad. I took it into my own hands to research, to help. I knew I was getting bad, and I was really bad. And like I said, there's always that stage of the self-pity, because I was in a stage of self-pity at the start. You're like, oh, I deserve or the world owes me this, the world sucks, yada, yada, yada. Who cares?
Yeah.
We all have the same 24 hours in the day. We all have emotions. We all face adversity. We all have to feel the same emotions. You have to feel sadness. You have to feel sadness. I have to feel sadness, right?
Yeah.
So who am I to sit there and sulk in my sadness? Who am I to sit there and say, I deserve happiness? No, you have to earn happiness. You have to.
Oh, I
That's
like
interesting
that.
perspective, yeah.
You have to earn it. You have to earn everything in life, and it's a choice. At the
It's a
end
choice.
of the
I
day,
believe
it's a choice to
It
be
is a
happy.
choice.
You can
Yeah.
wake up in the morning and go, I want to sit and sulk and be sad and feel like shit and not be confident.
Yeah.
Or you can go, you know what? Fuck the world. I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. And then
Exactly.
we're creatures of habits. You figure out that it's just that instant switch. You do it for 30 days, it becomes a habit. It's your lifestyle. That's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That trying part is really important, though. And yeah, like you said, some people have to bring it out of themselves. But it's also awesome when you have like a friend or two, just a close circle around you that wants the best for you. And that's why some people are not even willing to have those conversations, because I've seen both ends of the spectrum. It's like someone just wants to stoop down to their level and allow them to feel this way forever. Like, it's okay, it's all right, everything's fine, and it's just like allowing them to stay in that low mental state. And then there's also the people who just can't empathize at all. And then so like two opposite ends. Like, you need to have a healthy balance of.
It's a healthy balance.
Yeah, like being firm, like you said, letting them know, okay, I understand you, this is where you're coming from, but this is what we should do about it.
For sure.
Because it's like, it might seem like prying, it might seem like uncomfortable, tense conversations, and it can lead to that because the other person is just such in a state of like, no, like, I don't want anything to do with outside world and things like that.
See,
but
true.
the alternative is much worse.
No, for sure.
If you're not that, like you said, that person crumbles, that person gets worse, and it's a decline. And I'd rather be the person that tries to, even if it seems like prying, tries to help, tries my best.
Exactly.
It might be tense, but it's for the
Maybe
better.
you can make a difference. Maybe that conversation, hell, you may not listen to one word I say. You may think I'm full of shit. You may think I'm a douchebag for saying what I have to say. But maybe, just maybe, a few of my words get through to you. And maybe a little bit of my advice, and you actually take it, and you actually think, you're laying in bed feeling like crap, and you remember this conversation we had, and you remember Briven said, maybe do a couple push-ups or work out a little bit, or move around a little bit, stretch, do something. Well, then you start doing it, you know what I mean? Then you start feeling better, and then it just becomes a compound effect. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? But I would rather take that risk, because if I care about you, the last thing I want to see is you not live up to your full potential.
That's
when your mental state isn't in line, you're definitely not living up to your full potential. Because when this is happy, when this is great, when this is good terms, then this becomes a lot more productive.
Oh, that's true.
We can do so much more. When you're sad, when you're in a bad state, you're not going to be productive. You can't. Your mind's just pulling you into this hole. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it all comes down to the same thing. That sucks. We don't have a lot of time. You know what I mean? And the last thing I want is unproductivity.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you realize that everyone is capable of something. It's also kind of egotistical to think, oh, I'm the only one that has a gift or a passion or something. It's like, no, everyone has something, and I'm here to at least throw a little spark around, plant a little seed that you can do great things as well, that you got something going for you, and I'm here for it, and I'm going to help out.
Yeah, see, I believe that as well. I think our purpose for sure is to help trying to uplift those around us that probably don't see that within themselves too. You know? You just simply speaking on here, someone hears it, you might have changed their life, even if it's the smallest thing. And I think that's what we've always emphasized.
That's true.
Even if it's the tiniest thing, that could make the difference.
Yeah.
And I feel too, since we're on the topic of just like mental health and opening up, I think, if you're going through a moment of down low, what are moments or things that you think would aid people, right? Obviously, we talked about exercising. Maybe another one would be emphasizing, at least trying to open up to someone about it, right? What else would you say?
In terms of helping your mental health?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, the first thing is self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is self-awareness. When you are feeling bad, be more self-aware. Sit down and Casey, my girlfriend's dad, explained this to me a couple of nights ago on a car ride we had, and he was talking about emotion and logic and reason. And you've got to have a healthy balance of each, because your emotion, when you have a lot of emotion, your logic and reason's very low.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking clouded, judged, everything's clouded because you have all of these emotions, the anger, the hatred, the sadness, whatever it may be going through. Well, when you don't have emotion, you're thinking more logically, right? You gotta be able to see it from the outside in and look at the logic and reason. And when people are going through what they're going through, I don't want to downplay anything.
Yeah.
But there's a lot worse lives out there.
That's so true.
There's a lot worse lives out there. And especially when you're sitting in the comfort of your home and your bed under your roof with your mom and dad in the next room, and you're feeling bad about yourself, there's a lot of people, especially in these third world countries, who just don't have the pleasure of doing things like that. So you've got to be self-aware to know that you're not the world doesn't revolve around you.
Very true.
Everybody feels trauma, everybody feels some form of adversity.
And despite all that, there's still things to be grateful for now.
Gratefulness.
That's it.
Gratefulness.
Yes.
Be grateful, but not comfortable. Be
Ooh.
grateful, but not comfortable.
Yeah.
Be grateful for this life that you have. Not everybody gets to live it. Take advantage of this life.
Mhm.
But for one day, don't be fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfort will kill a man.
Oh,
Comfort will
yeah.
drive you into this hole. Comfort will make you sit on your ass and not do anything productive.
man.
Be
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Want more for yourself.
Mhm.
I was watching this video that was very interesting, and the dude said in it, he said when they were talking about successful people, he said they found kind of these three interesting traits, and it's you've got, first of all, you've got this ignorance that you deserve everything, that you're better than people and you deserve more, right? You also have this insecurity in your head that's just, it's like yin and yang.
Yeah.
You're confident, you're egotistical, you're super insecure.
Yeah.
Then you become obsessed,
Yeah.
right? And that obsessiveness is what blends this all together and just allows you to dive into what you need
Yeah.
to. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think I heard something similar to that.
be
yeah.
grateful but not comfortable. Live your life with a purpose. Live your life with motive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just you don't have enough time.
Mhm.
I'm only 20 and I'm talking about this. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
I talk to anyone who's in their 50s or their 60s. You know what I mean? Like, and see if they have any regrets or see how their life has played out from their end.
Yeah.
It's an interesting balance. Sometimes you meet ones who are like, I don't have any regrets, and then sometimes you meet ones who are like, I wish I would have done a lot more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
ain't that
And the
for sure.
last thing you want to be is that old person with messed up knees and messed up hips, and you can't do anything with your body anymore.
Dang.
And you're sitting in your bed every day waiting for your last day, just
Yeah.
knowing that or wishing that you could have done more.
Yeah.
There's something so depressing and sad about that to me.
Yes. It's very sad because like we all like to think that, you know, it's never too late, but at the same time you can't predict life. You don't know if, you know, your legs will give out before other people's do.
Mhm.
You know, I think it is wrong to put an age on things, you know, because technically you've seen people accomplish great things at all types of ages.
100%.
So it's not about
You're right.
age, it's just about what your body gives out. And
Yeah.
obviously those chances get
That makes
higher
more
the
sense.
older you get.
Mhm. Mhm.
And while you have this body, while you're able to do things, you know, while you're able to articulate certain things, you know, you get on it, you know, like you
Mhm.
said, get uncomfortable, do things out of your comfort zone. And sometimes it starts as small as just changing your environment, you know, if you're in that depressive, low state, you know, whatever it is, and, you know, your routine is just so just black and white, right? Like you come home, you know, your room's looking the same, your kitchen's looking the same. Start by organizing the sock drawer.
See, that's
Start
true.
by organizing the little things. You know, make your living space more inviting to a more positive energy because you can't outdo your environment. You can't. You know, everyone always falls to the level of their systems. Everyone always falls to the level of, you know, certain friend groups or family or the mindset that you're surrounded with to your environment. You know, you can't like be filled, you know, with garbage all around you and still expect to like smell good. You know, you gotta get rid of the garbage
Exactly.
out, and then, you know, things start to change. You build that momentum. You get things
Mhm.
rolling.
Mhm.
And I think,
that's where you see
yeah,
change.
what you're saying makes a lot of sense because it ties into the being aware, right? Now that we're aware of these things, and then we ask ourselves, what can we do with these things, right?
Yeah.
You know, you took that moment to ask yourself, what can I do? You know, whether that be a video, whether that be asking someone, whether that be YouTube, whether that be the internet, you know, so, or moving differently. Literally, if you're feeling down, or you ask yourself, am I getting enough sunlight? If you're just not even getting out, you're not getting out, you're not going out to
Outside, yeah.
nature. You're like you're saying, your clothes, your room,
Yeah.
all this is going to have an effect on how you're feeling on a daily basis. So it's, instead of emphasizing or blaming or, you know,
Yeah.
acting as if, you know, something owes us something,
Yeah.
it really is about, you know, taking it by what you can do now and then slowly implementing things that are going to make you better overall.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's true because sometimes, you know, it's the same dull routine, you know, and most people can't even get outside. You know, it's just come back home, okay, then go to work, come back home. You know, everywhere you're in a shelter. You're sheltered under your home, you're sheltered in your car, you're sheltered at work, and then you just do the same routine. People don't even take the time to go out in nature. You know, maybe hanging out with friends seems like too much of a hassle, so you avoid that. Maybe trying new things scares you, so you avoid that. You're always being sheltered, both physically and mentally. You're sheltering yourself from the world, so it's no wonder you feel this way. You know, you can't, what's the saying? You can't expect different results and do the same things.
Yeah.
You know, that's insanity. So you need to, you know, get out and just at least do one little thing maybe text up that friend and say, hey, you know what? I'll take you up on that lunch date. I'll take you up on, you know, this gym. Let's go hit a workout. As uncomfortable as it is, you know, that little momentum is probably what you needed to start getting that next step in.
And it also the fundamentals too, like the fundamentals to happiness and you've got to take care of your body. You've got to take care of your mind. You know what I mean? And the 3 proven keys that will make you feel better: exercise more, drink more water, and get enough sleep.
Yes, dude. Those are fundamentals right
Those
there.
are fundamentals.
Oh,
your
man,
body.
That's so overlooked,
true.
man.
It is overlooked.
Yeah, dude. First of all, working out is a given. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
The body's supposed to stay in motion.
Yeah,
period.
the body needs to move. We're primal creatures. We used to hunt. We used to forage. We used to live off the
We used to
land.
be out, man. Getting
Exactly.
sunlight, working. You know,
That's
doing all
what
that
we
stuff.
should be moving. We should be doing stuff. Getting more sleep. Get off your damn phone an hour before. If your sleep is that bad. For me, I'm a deep sleeper. I can pass out and be in a coma. Yeah, dude. Like I'm good with all of that. But like some people,
it's a struggle for sure.
Dude. Yeah, like fix your habits and drinking water for sure, dude.
Yeah,
People
that's
don't
true.
understand dehydration.
Yeah.
When your body's dehydrated and you start drinking a lot of water, it takes a couple days for you to become more hydrated. When your body's in a deep state of dehydration, it becomes natural. And for me, when I'm in a camp, I have to drink a gallon a day, right?
for sure.
We even have guys that I train with who drink a gallon and a half, 2 gallons a day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because hydration's key.
It's
Dude, it is, yeah.
I think everybody should be drinking 2 to 3 liters of water per day,
Yeah.
and it changes everything. When you drink more water, your metabolism will speed up. You won't be as fatigued. That's a big thing. Is when I'm not drinking water, I get tired.
Yeah.
I want to take lots of naps,
Yeah.
lots of naps now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get sluggish.
Yeah,
That's
definitely. It emphasizes it.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? It ties back to, you know, jiu-jitsu, MMA. You know, they start you off with the fundamentals. You know, they start you off with, you know, basics. You know, you're gonna get to it, get those honed in, and then start adding on. You know, how are you gonna start? It even goes back to how Atomic Habits emphasizes. You know, first you have to be in the habit of showing up, doing whatever it is. And then once you start showing up consistently, then you can start to improve. Then you can start to dial in certain things. You know, so what do you think that relates to inside of the MMA world, where, you know, it's fundamentals to begin with, leading on to advancements?
Yeah, like you gotta have the fundamentals down. The fundamentals are key. Once you start, rules are meant to be broken, right? So when you start with jiu-jitsu, you're taught, don't do this, don't move this way. You hear a lot of don'ts, but the more you start doing it, the more you start seeing high-level guys doing those don'ts.
Oh, yeah.
You can bend the rules once you get a good understanding. So the fundamental way is to teach in striking, for example, because I think striking, and my brain isn't a mastermind in jiu-jitsu yet, right? But with striking, anyways, you think good base. You want to engage your hips on every single punch. You learn the fundamentals, right? But the more you start doing it, the more crossing your feet now isn't a bad thing. You can cross your feet. Crossing your feet is, people say, oh, this is horrible.
Like off balance?
Yeah, like you're off you're not.
say that,
If
right?
you know how to move your body, it's a salsa. It's a dance, right? When you're fighting someone, it's all a dance. It's all a salsa. When you're moving your feet, I can bounce and flip my feet around. I can do whatever I want with my feet. I just need to know how to position and shift my weight. I need to be cautious of where he is and where I am, right? You can start bending and breaking rules. You should start with the fundamentals. Always with the fundamentals. Always getting good at the fundamentals.
But don't stick to them forever either.
But don't, there's no, in martial arts, there's no one way. There's no, everyone's going to try to teach you, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is our rules. This is our rule. Fuck all that, dude. I've trained at so many different gyms. I'm going to do it my way. In the sense of, like, I don't live by one straight pattern. I learn from everybody, but you take little bits from. It's like building a character.
Literally,
like it's like building create a character. Like the more, like, maybe I do a striking session and I learn a cool head kick setup from this guy. You know what I mean? You add that into your arsenal, into your bag.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Same way with jiu-jitsu. You keep adding these moves from all these different people, and then eventually, once you start becoming so advanced and adept at it, you add your little flavor, your little swag to it, and then you develop your own style, right? Cool. So it's a cool progressive. When I first started striking, I was a heavy-handed, heavy-footed boxer. I knocked people out with hands. My left hand was nasty. Well, got into a street fight and broke my hand, right? Hand was broken. There's still like a little lump here. I broke it right here, and it broke like upwards. And for 6 months, I broke it like 2 or 3 times. So it was like in and out of a cast for a while, right? I had to learn how to kick. I had to learn how to move my feet, right? So now I can't throw this one thing I relied on all the time is not there anymore. I've got to find new avenues. I've got to adapt, exactly. Now I'm shifting my feet. Now I'm throwing head kicks, you know what I mean? And then you just keep learning, keep adding more. There's no set way to do it. You eventually add your own flavor, but see people for what they are. If you can see the phony in someone, don't take advice from them. But if you respect and trust the guy, then you're better off taking what he has to teach you and implementing it in your own way.
I like that you're saying this because it's an art for a reason. You know, just like any other art, not everyone should be the same thing. Imagine if every artist who just started painting,
there's levels,
made the same paintings. You know, like everyone has their own style, their own spice.
And even then, like you'll come across guys who have like wonky styles, and you'll hear other people say that doesn't work. You know what I mean? But I swear they can make it work. Anyone can make their style work. I think at the end of the day, you need to be good at everything. And especially in the jiu-jitsu world now, wrestling's starting to take over. So a lot of the good jiu-jitsu players, I started wrestling a lot in this last year or these last 6 months regularly. But like wrestling's starting to take over, so you've got to adapt your style to that. But
that's true, man.
At the end of the day,
taking the game.
Everything's effective.
Everything.
There's too many moves for stuff not for anyone to say that's done. That doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, that's funny because every school, or maybe not every school, but each school wants to have their own way, and they want it just top to bottom. Everyone learn it this way. You know, that's not the right thing to do. Or hey, you're learning that from someone else. Don't do that. You know, but it's like no, like let each person develop their style, and then like fix the little loose ends. You know, that person is like more set on this way. This person's more set on that way. All right, let's type the loose ends and improve on that rather than just trying to make everything so
But you've got to be coachable too. You come in there and you know your style. I know everyone knows my striking style. Everyone knows like the way I move in the gym, right? But if Larry wants me to switch something up, I'm coachable. I'll listen to him, right? So I know my style, but I can't just like I've had it with like people you teach and coach. It's like they don't want to learn. Well, I do it this way. Well, cool. That's not what we're doing. Let's do it this way right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
where do you find that balance then? Where do you find where it's like, okay, you're maybe being a little too disrespectful, or you're not coachable, versus I guess you have to have some sort of level of skill too, right?
And intelligence. Your brain. Some people's brain. Now I would say that. Most MMA fighters aren't meatheads, but you get that. Yeah, there's guys who are meatheads who you go, go do this, and then they'll just go do it, right? But like, they also can't, when they're drilling and stuff, they can't comprehend what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like their brain just doesn't work in that sort of way. It's like you just got to be willing to learn. You've got to be willing to learn, especially if you're going to take time to go to someone else's class and then and I'm coaching a class, or any of the instructors are coaching a class, and you're going to go, well, I do it this way. Who cares? Just learn. You're here to learn this move. Or from this guy. So let's take advantage of that. Let's learn, and maybe even though you do it this way, maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll learn something different. Like, a lot of people don't understand grips, for example. Like,
it's a major
with
part.
Matt Harris, as dude's an animal. Just his jiu-jitsu style is, I think you rolled with him.
I think so.
Did you roll with
the
Matt?
big guy, right? Like
One of
big
y'all rolled
buff.
with Matt. Yeah, the big buff guy.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
that
he's
guy
like a
is him,
bear.
right?
That's insane, man.
Yeah,
I
dude.
can't do anything.
His
man.
style is smash.
Yeah, dude. It's so weird.
But
man.
there's a science behind it. I used to
For
think
sure.
when I first came in, I was thinking that's dumb. That's dumb jujitsu. Like that's what
Like,
you look
there's
at
no
it because
technique
he's a
or
big
what?
dude, right?
Yeah,
So he's
right.
just grabbing guys and smashing them. No.
definitely
He
not.
started teaching me like how to take away posts and how to leverage your
man.
weight and how to put them in these bad. And it's like
That's
I'm taking
beautiful.
guys who have freaking 40, 50 pounds on me and
Yeah.
smashing them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You wouldn't even take time to learn that, but
Mhm.
if you do, if you do pay attention in the class, you'll pick up on these little details.
Sure, there's technique behind all that.
Exactly.
And like the ego in you, or like the bad ego in you, right, wants to blame it on the size of the person or the muscle. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, that guy's just a little bit more brutal. That guy's more spastic. That guy's just heavier, so that's why he's getting me.
Mhm.
But it's like, no, there's still movements he's doing that
For
you
sure.
can replicate. Like you said, the grips, the posts.
For sure.
And that's what I saw in Matt when I rolled with him. I felt so helpless. And
Yeah,
I was like,
dude.
but wait, what can I take? Instead of me blaming it on his size and
Yeah.
thinking that, I was like, no, what
Yeah,
can
he's
I
bigger
learn?
than you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's better than you.
Yeah,
He's a lot
exactly.
better than
That's
you.
it.
He's a lot better than
That's
me,
it.
and he's a lot better than he's doing like leg lock stuff now. Like he taught this cool
Oh,
little
that's nice.
Russian Thai leg lock where it's a sweet entry to 411 right into an inside heel hook, dude.
Ooh,
From
man.
half guard, from bottom half guard. It's a
Yeah.
cool little
Wow.
sweep. Yeah, dude. Like he's good. He's really
Yeah.
good. Is he big? Yeah, but there are a few moves he'll teach that like you can't really do because he is big. You know what I mean? That sometimes there is a little bit of big guy man
That's
in him.
true.
For sure,
That's
for sure.
But the majority of them, 90% of them, you can take something from it. You can,
Yeah.
whether it's the way he's grabbing the guy, whether it's the way he's using his head,
Mhm.
whatever it may be, you can take something.
That's
See,
true.
Yeah, I think that's true. You know, you're right when it comes to part of the bad ego inside of you. It's like trying to make you feel better. Like, oh, no, don't
Yeah.
worry, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, there is people that maybe don't have that technique behind them that just utilize that.
Mhm.
So, well, that might be true too. For him, for his example, he is pure technique too. But his nature is just big.
Big.
It
Right?
helps him out,
You
too.
know?
Big.
Yeah, helps out his technique.
It's strength and an advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So it's
true.
not really like for him. It's not like he doesn't see himself as different, you know.
Mhm.
But for us, since we're smaller,
Yeah, that's
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
he also he's also incredibly technical. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like you see Gordon. There's a reason why you go into a jiu-jitsu room and you see the big guys roll and the small guys roll. There's a reason watching the small guys roll, it looks a little prettier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, they're always more technical
They
because
are more
That
technical.
we're
is